Hello everyone, watch this review here where they look at Katara from the Avatar, the Last Airbender movie series. Now, I don't know how much I've previously discussed about the series with you, but I believe it was originally supposed to be broken up across 3 waves, but due to delays, I think only the first 2 waves got out. Now, of the second wave, I believe Katara is by far the rarest figure. And, it's actually somewhat of an interesting story how I picked this one up. Well, not so much an interesting story, but it is a story nonetheless, and yeah, I'm gonna tell it to you. But I will wait until the end of the video to do that. It's kind of a story of how things kind of work out in your favor. At any rate, hold on a second while I get this out of pack. Actually, it's very weird that they waited until the second wave to release the Katara. Partly because the prototype, I think, was revealed at the same time as all the others. Second of all, I mean, she's the narrator for the movie, so it's kind of a big role right there, in addition to probably being more prominent than Sokka. Well, actually, definitely being more prominent than Sokka, so yeah, she definitely should have been in Wave 1, but female characters often seem to get the shaft with these toy lines. Supposedly, there wasn't even a Katara figure for the actual Avatar, the cartoon toy series. We have had some via kids' meals and stuff, I believe, though. It should also be mentioned that the actress was one of the big reasons why M. Night Shyamalan took this project on in the first place. Probably not in a Roman Polanski sort of way. Supposedly he had met the girl previously and been impressed with her, so he wanted to cast her in a movie. And that's how she ended up being Katara. Actually talking about the figure now, Katara comes with a sword, which is kind of bent. A lot of the accessories for this line are bent. I mean, Spin Master just really didn't do a good job in any stretch of the imagination. It's hard to tell who did the worst job, Spin Master or M. Night Shyamalan, in actually making the movie, but I don't know. I'm not sure who the odds-on favorite that is. As for the figure itself, I mean, this is probably one of the better looking ones for the series. I mean, they've done some really terrible work in the first wave, and even the second wave, I think some of them look kind of iffy, but you know, in terms of likeness and design, this really isn't an awful figure. Or at least not as bad as some of the previous ones. Same problems kind of apply where the joints sort of warped and stuff, but I mean, it's just kind of a minor issue. I don't have the other figures on hand to compare her to. I mean, I have one of the Zuko's and the Winter Sokka, but I'm going to toss in a Stormtrooper and a Prince Dastan for height comparison here. I mean, she does strike me as looking a bit on the smaller side, but I can't remember how tall the other figures were from the series. I think they're also pretty short. Look in the annotations or something. Also probably give you the exact height as soon as I can find a ruler. But in terms of paint and everything, I mean, really not a lot of detail, but the paintwork is still, I mean, pretty solid. I mean, I don't see any paint flaws here. And just the way that the sculpt contours in places, it looks like there is shadowing, even if shadowing may not be painted on. It's occasionally hard to tell. Now, curiously, the face is a little bit whiter than the rest of the body, which is kind of stupid. I imagine it was probably just used from a certain piece of plastic, and the other portions actually represent painted parts, like this part here. So between the chest and the face here, you can see maybe 4 or 5 different gradients difference in color, which means pretty bad, but I mean, given what the rest of the line was, this is entirely forgivable. And then just all around, you know, this is definitely one of the better figures in the line. In terms of articulation, we have a rotating wrist, a single joint elbow, a pin joint, goes in a pretty far distance, ball jointed shoulder, no real issues there. Of course, the fact that we don't have like a shoulder pivot or bicep pivot kind of impedes what you can do with the arms. Head rotates. It can actually do a full 360 if you pull up the hair in the back because it's a soft rubbery plastic. if you, for some reason, want to do a full 360. But, I mean, it just has a really nice look to it in terms of the way that the hair moves. So it definitely adds, you know, a degree of posability there. Waist rotates. Legs are ball jointed. It's on kind of a strange ball joint, because it also rotates at the same point, which is kind of weird too, because they also included a rotation down here at the lower thigh. So I mean, it rotates in multiple places. I guess it's pretty neat though. Single joint here at the knee, it's a pin joint again, and then a pin joint here at the ankle. All in all, you know, definitely one of the figures to pick up from this line, if only for the reason that, you know, we didn't previously have a Katara, supposedly. Oh, also, if I wasn't entirely clear during the whole leg movement thing, the lower tunic here is of a soft plastic, so she actually gets decent forward movement too if you wanted to. The joints are really loose on mine. I'm not sure if this could be the same with everybody's. By the way, I didn't explain that this is this little flask or something that she keeps this water in that she uses to bend. I mean, if you've seen the movie, and if you're familiar with the cartoon, you know what this is, but others, this is not a conch shell or anything. This is actually some sort of a pouch. Alright, on to my little story now. So basically, last week, Newegg.com, where I buy a lot of my video games because they have some pretty impressive clearances and they do free shipping and stuff, put BioShock 2 on sale for $11. So, I mean, naturally I would have bought it, but it had sold out by that point. So I jumped onto Amazon. After a while, I ended up finding that their PS3 version of BioShock 2 was also $11, so I added to my cart. But to get the free shipping in Amazon, you have to meet a 25 minimum of eligible purchases. So I started looking around for other stuff, including at the DC Universe Classics. There was the new Riddler, which I almost picked up. I probably should have, but I kind of wanted to wait until it came into the to buy it as a full set, right? Because when you're trying to buy something individually, later on you might see that the whole set's available cheaply, and that's kind of a bummer. Ironically, some hours after I saw the Riddler, which was only 15, it went up to like 25 or 30 from another seller because somebody had bought it. But when I was looking through it, I ended up just glancing at stuff that, you know, I was just thinking of figures that I'd wanted to pick up but hadn't found someplace else. And I finally looked up Katara. Previously, Katara had been listed on both Amazon and eBay for like 30 or 50 bucks, which is something I definitely would not pay for a Spin Master product. However, this time around, there were two listings for Katara for 10 bucks, so I naturally snapped up one of those, and then I still had to figure out what to do for $5 more stuff to qualify for the free shipping. I caved and just went ahead and bought the Mega Man Zero collection for the DS, which I wasn't going to do yet. Wait till I find that for cheaper, but that's nothing to do with this story. But basically, it's just kind of cool that because I wasn't able to get the sale at one place, I ended up getting the sale someplace else, and also getting a figure that, you know, it's just really, really tough to find, and I'd been wanting for a while. So things do occasionally work out in your favor. So yeah, this has been a look at the Katara figure from the Avatar, the Last Airbender line. I've already reviewed several Avatar figures. I think I've picked up everything I will pick up unless I see these physically in store or find them on clearance someplace. I can't remember if I've reviewed or uploaded the Zuko review though. So yeah, but until next time, folks. Also, just be aware that there'll probably be some additional information in the details box if you didn't see annotations during the video. One very, very last thing, just when you look really closely at this figure, I noticed it at first, but I mean the head also looks kind of disproportionate in terms of the face versus the hair, and the forehead's a bit large. But I mean, those are the only other complaints I would have about this figure. Very quick update, apparently these joints really suck. I was trying to position the head over the body so I could slip the water flask or whatever over the head and arm, but the arm ended up like splitting on me. The pin joint ended up coming apart somehow. So yeah, just be very careful with this.